Isn't
John
John an
doesn't
anagram of Armin?
Yes, all 3 letters.
There you
If
go,
you
cracked it.
rearrange them,
Yeah. Yep.
spell out my name with the 5 letters.
Yeah,
Figure that
cracked
out,
it.
folks.
Cracked it. Big brain.
Goldenbergs. Trust
Super
me.
smart.
It's why Tristan drinks the G Fuel, because that's part of the globalist agenda. Yeah, see, we're dropping the hints here, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so yeah. With that in mind, Q&A number 1. This isn't really a question; it's a point, but I put it on here because we got to laugh at it. Rob Liefeld is doing an NFT comic.
Yeah,
I want
saw
to
that.
laugh.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to laugh.
Yeah. I saw it. I laughed. I laughed because it's like, of course he is. But then I don't understand, like, how does that work?
Oh,
It
I don't know.
It really doesn't. It all depends on, is it actually a comic or is it just a?
Oh no, it's a proper
cover.
comic.
So
Well, I say proper in the loosest way possible.
Then
It's got a rip-off anti-Venom on it. It's got a rip-off thing. It's the typical life.
Then
stuff.
is it limited or is it just like an actual?
I didn't read that far, to be honest. But it's
Okay, look.
To me, all he's doing is he's making a comic and just selling off digital versions of the original prints.
Okay, so I'm looking this up. So we got The Thing, we got Venom, we got Nova, we got Cable.
It's just literally Liefeld.
Look, can I pay Liefeld for the NFT on hands, fists, and feet because he can't draw either, and then forever I can have exclusive rights to all of them?
No.
I will pay what it's worth, so $-.
You say forever. NFTs are getting hacked as long with crypto at the minute, so you might own it for like a day if you like.
Oh, true. It's gonna like devalue quick.
Someone will fungi whatever that, how you ever pronounce that bloody word. Someone will fungi the token.
Fungi the token. There's something fungy about this one, all right? Oh,
I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like, is it fungible? Is it fungible?
I've heard fungible.
Fungible. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
To get how to properly say this, I'll just show it to my wife, and she flubs just about every word she's not aware of, and most of the words she's aware of. So whatever she says, I'll report next week. It'll probably be like it's where I get my name pronunciations from. Trust me.
Yeah. Oh, it makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Pretty terrible at it. So there we go. That was just our first kind of point. Thank you, John, for putting that in there. Now let's get to the actual first topic. Let's get to Q&A number 2. This one comes from Justin M on our member section. And he says, or asks and says, so multiple things here. It's a little bit longer, so I'll kind of jump around a little bit. But with everything that's been going on in MCU since Phase 4 started, how do you guys think certain stories tie into others? Meaning like Shang-Chi working with Wong to discover more about the rings, the whole multiverse coming apart, the end of Loki with Kang, the entire Eternals movie. Like, I wonder how all those stories tie into each other, or if they'll just be resolved on their own without any other connections. So this is one of those where I think it's kind of both, right? Like some story like Spider-Man, that was a standalone, hey, we resolved it by the end, right? But a Loki thing is going to be more far-reaching because the obvious Quantumania Kang and then Kang and Loki. So I think you're kind of getting both, right? I think that's safe to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think the story from Spider-Man is going to carry out to Doctor Strange a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
I think only really with Strange's character arc. I think that's going to like factor into everything. It's kind of like, I might have broken everything by doing this one thing. But yeah, I think for the most part, you're getting some things are going to resolve on their own, and some things are going to need like a crossover. Like, let's be honest, you can't. The way Eternals ends, spoilers, you can't have a celestial host and not have everyone involved. They're kind of too big. You know, poor Australia already saw the nuts of Arishem, so like, imagine having like 8 celestials just surrounding Earth. Like,
I was gonna say, and also like there is now a giant frozen carcass of a celestial half frozen, like coming out of Earth or whatever. That's probably screwed up some of the stuff. So I don't know what's going on there.
and say that's got to have done something, but
Yeah,
it's not frozen; it's turned to stone.
Well, is that what happened?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I was about to say, I was like, with the current Avengers run, yeah, that's free real estate.
I was gonna say if it was frozen, then the Earth's dead because that's just gonna melt and then flood everything.
So I think our kind of takeaway here is it's gonna have that big overarching thing, but some of these will get resolved on their own. I mean, we just heard this past week, just due to detectives online, like the stunt double for Icarus is going to work on a Marvel project. It's like, oh, well, okay, there's a couple of things that could be happening in the next couple, so sure. I mean,
I love it when stunt doubles forget about the NDAs and they go, oops.
yep.
I didn't say that. No.
Well, remember, that's how we learned about Andrew Garfield, because his stunt double was literally like, oh, I'm hanging out with Tom Holland's stunt double and we're on the set. Check out all this green behind us. He's like, deletes. He's like, I don't know what that was. Oh. Oh.
But is John Madden's stunt double just Sebastian Stan? Because those two are identical. Right.
Oh. They are.
Look at her side by side. It's just like her.
Yeah.
The same person.
Yeah.
And it's the white people that say everyone looks alike. Like, Funny.
According to some reports, though, there's I don't know, like the Sebastian Stan. Where is he? People are like, he just disappears and he reappears for these Marvel films. So it's all right. Yeah,
Isn't he doing that Tommy and Pam?
Yeah, he is. I didn't even recognize it was him first. I was like, whoa.
That's out on Disney Plus here. That's going to be nuts.
Oh, wow.
It's just like that.
Well, there we go. Speaking of Disney Plus, that's a good one. That's a good one. Hey, you know what's not going to be shelved, though?
Oh.
Our next Q&A, which I was going to walk into in a different way, but screw it.
I just saw the topic and I was like, how are you making this about shelves?
Oh, no. This Q&A comes from Glenn Chaplin. I'm going to assume he's the great descendant of Charlie Chaplin, so you can correct me on that, but thank you for being a member of the channel. And he asks us, do you guys think Tom Hardy should play an MCU variant of Eddie Brock, or recast, or use somebody else, like possibly use Flash or Harry Osborn, or just a straight up recast?
Keep Hardy for the voice of the symbiote, recast Eddie Brock.
I was just gonna say, just get a different actor.
Yeah.
I can't take Tom like seriously as Eddie with his voice.
That's how Tom Hardy sounds, man. He's got a squeaky voice. That's how he sounds.
I kind of I'm hoping that they can find a way to keep Tom Hardy, but I think realistically they will keep him as a voice. And I think the MCU is just going to do their own version of possibly Eddie Brock. Like, look, the way Spider-Man No Way Home leaves off, you could see Peter trying to get by selling pictures of Spider-Man and doing the whole thing for J. Jonah Jameson, being like an informant to his version of, InfoWars and such.
Or
and
an OnlyFans. The Spider-Man OnlyFans and MedBank.
Like, he's running his own account like Flash did to kind of try to get offset. And like, you can kind of have that there. And I think the rival becomes either Eddie Brock or you do Flash and that kid just puts on some muscle and gets the symbiote and we go in a different direction. Because I just don't think they want to do the same thing. Like, you don't want the same Venom in the MCU. That's not the point.
Yeah.
So
I think you leave behind a bit of Hardy's Venom because you have the Hardy voice.
Yeah. Yep.
Like you can have Eddie Brock be Tom Hardy as well. You can possibly change him up because it's obviously going to be a variant. Yeah. Or you have someone completely different, like a Matt Gargan or a Flash Thompson or someone else. Or do the Harry Osborn Venom thing. I don't know. No.
Yeah. I think whatever they do, you got to keep Tom Hardy as the voice, just because that's the symbiote. That's the symbiote's voice. Like that's what we.
It's also
hear,
the draw for that character now.
Yeah, that's true. So I don't know. Like whatever they decide to do, I'm hoping they make the smart decision. That's kind of my stance on this. It's like, let's hope it's a smart decision, and I hope it works out for them, and that it's one of those. We figured it out, and we're doing it right. again, it's Marvel Studios. They'll work with Sony. They'll come up with something that fits Marvel Studios good. So
at the end of the day, no matter who is the next Venom or the voice or whatever, like it doesn't matter as long as it's good.
exactly, yeah. Our last Q&A, so there's a good one. This one comes from John as well. We always like to start and end with one of the one because he supports us a lot. Been around actually on Twitch for how long? Forever, it seems like. Unfortunately, he's working.
He's a day one. He's been here since.
Yeah, he's working now when we record, so I always like to get a little bit extra for him here because he still comes by and does the subs and everything. So he asks, do you think Marvel Studios has an over-designed problem with the costumes seemingly being over-padded and the likes?
See, we had this conversation in the Discord, me, John.
Okay.
He slightly changed the wording here because in the Discord he said what was it? Hyper armored. And I was like, well, what's got hyper? Like, who's overly armored? Like, what does that even mean? Like, there is a conversation going. I don't know why it suddenly popped up, but I have seen people be like, oh yeah, their suits are so over designed, it's all too overly layered, and like for years people were propping these suits up as the best things ever. So like, I don't know. I think they're fine. I don't people going, oh they overuse nanotech. It's like 4 suits out the entire roster had nanotech. 2 of them were Iron Man.
Well,
3 of them were made by Iron
you.
Man. No.
I would rather have a Sam Wilson padded looking suit that makes sense, that looks just like it's from the comics, than a fake muscular ab insertion. It's supposed to be skin tight on Batman, but clearly Ben Affleck would look like he's juicing for 1,000 years. Like, I get it.
If you look back at the suits, you go, oof.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't understand why people want the spandex look.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
Where it's just all one flat thing. It's like that's fine for drawings and comics because it works. But on camera,
I'm expecting people to hate the Fantastic Four suits if they come out with nanotech suits because Reed comes out with new tech for their suits like every couple issues.
I was gonna say it's like periodic. It's like, hey guys, I changed these. Here we go. What's the situation?
I say as long as they look different in effect wise, like there is an abundance of the suit just appears right now. Moon Knight, Sailor Moon, like he's just out here in the streets doing the Sailor Moon thing. You got who have we got now in nanotech? Black Panther, Spider-Man did have it. I assume Black Panther's still gonna have it.
Black Panther is one that he has the more skin tight look, but they didn't over design and fluff his muscle where it looks like it conforms to the dude's body. You can see it's a little padded on. You can tell he's sleeker. But it's not
got more
giant.
like a runner's body than anything.
Yeah, I think honestly, there's some cases like we talked about it doing the Shang-Chi commentary. The new Thor suit with all the gold and the helmet, I'm like, what is that? What am I even looking at? Like,
that's
that is bad.
When it's in full blown mode, it's bad. When it's not, it's better. It's better.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of like you run down like the list and like who's really got a lot of layers. Like Scarlet Witch doesn't anymore.
Yeah, no, they've kind of taken away many.
Anyway, she was just more a coat, but like no, they're taking that away. Doctor Strange, he has a ton of layers, but you can argue for the look and the direction they're taking that character, the layers and the folds and everything, what makes sense. It'd be weird if he didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, Bucky's just wearing a coat, a jacket.
Yeah.
Brie Larson's in a onesie.
Yeah.
I don't know. The over-armored, over-layered argument, I don't know. To me, it always seems to stem from just like 4 examples out of a bunch that we have. Like,
I mean, look at Peter's new suit. That's great. Like, it's all sewn. He has like his own sewing machine and thing. It's not nano or nothing. Like, that's cool. I mean, I assume Daredevil's suit when he comes back is going to be another just, hey, I had somebody make it for me. Maybe it's Melvin again. I don't know, but there you go. So that's cool. Yeah,
You know,
but
maybe like Steinfeld's Hawkeye suit.
yeah,
There's
that has been
there's a
Marvel.
lot of different things going on with that, but
Clint's is simplistic. Like,
yeah, Clint's is virtually just a shirt. But I don't know. I honestly don't get the argument for it being quote like over something, overlaid, over armored. I don't personally get that argument, but that's just me.
I suppose it's how you perceive it. So there we go. That's our take on that one. And our final topic here. All right, guys.